Hey everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Maxon, the Main Stamper. I'm here for Thursday at 3. This is a new feature on my Main Stamper page, and I am totally enjoying it. There's a lot less pressure for me to come on and do one really fun, easy, quick, fun fold card, just one, on a Thursday afternoon at 3. My Monday class is an hour long, and we do cover 3 cards on a Monday class. There's a lot more involved in Mondays, but the Thursday one is just more fun for me. It's daytime, it's bright and sunny usually, and I just have a lot of fun. So I'm really glad that I've added this into my routine to catch up with you guys, do a little stamping, a little chatting. It's always so awesome. Make sure you're saying hi when you jump on. I always like to know who's watching, and also to make sure that I am actually live and things are going well. So as I'm looking at my computer right now, it looks like I am frozen. So hopefully this is live. I'm going to carry on as though it is live. And if it's not, then I'm probably going to have to just redo this all over again. Oh my goodness. Yep, my screen is frozen. I don't know if yours is frozen too. This is so crazy. Okay, this is scaring me a little bit. Now I'm scared. I was having a really great moment coming on live, and now I'm a little bit scared. Okay, anyway, we're working on a fun fold, and we've been working on Sea Turtle all week. So this is our Sea Turtle card. Now this is called a window book card, and of course there's a window here, as you can see as I open the front flap. This is the window. And then inside, there's like a little book, right? So it opens like this. This last page could also be loose. I actually secured it, but it can also be a loose kind of full book in effect, right? And I think I might change it up as we get together and do this this little bit of stamping here. Okay, so yeah, I'm still frozen as I look at my Facebook page. Frozen. I'm gonna try to refresh it and see what happens. Bear with me. Technical difficulties, always with the technical stuff, right? It says I'm connecting. I think I'm live. Okay. Oh, now I can see things. I had to refresh my Facebook page. I see Jess. I see Linda. Now it's freezing. Okay, now I'm watching with a bit of delay. So all good again. Woohoo! Okay, let's pretend that none of that happened, and we're going to jump into our card. So let's get over to my workspace because we're going to talk again about this fun fold, the sea turtles, all of the good things. All right, let me get you over here. I'm also going to bring up my Facebook messages, and I'll try to peek over at them as we get going. So we have been doing turtle class this week, right? So this is the card that I shared today on my page. It's the beautiful, these are retiring colors, Blushing Bride, Soft Suede. Can you believe it? Like, I know we all played a game where we were like guessing, but like I wasn't really serious about like things that I thought were leaving. But anyway, this one is my favorite, and this one is very familiar looking, right? So I fussy cut this guy, and this one we just stamped him. So sometimes, you know, you have different options, right? He doesn't have to be fussy cut. He can just be stamped like he is here, and in obviously different colors as well. So lots of colors for that guy. And then of course we had this card earlier this week. We did a poll on Positive Paper Crafters to see who wore it better. We had the brights versus the more classic neutrals, and it's always a mixed bag over there. You guys are so much fun. I love sharing that with you guys. You're so sweet talking about your favorite things. All right, so if you're on my email newsletter list, you got this whole tutorial in your newsletter today. Every Thursday I send out newsletter with information. Lots of information today. We talked about the retiring list. We talked about when the sale starts. We talked about signing up for a catalog. Make sure you sign up for a catalog. I am asking you to just fill out the form, whether you shop with me or getting one for free, whether you want to get a catalog for the first time. There's options, but I need your information. So that's in my newsletter. Make sure you check it out. And for this fun fold, of course, we're using the Sea Turtle stamp set, but I wanted to point out, so earlier in the week when I did my other class, we grab random stamps when we have to, right? The Love for You was where I grabbed all my sentiments from my first class. Has nothing to do with sea turtles. This one, I used a sentiment from Peekaboo Farm. Now, how funny is this, right? Not sea turtles, but I really like this little hello there. And the reason I wanted something small is that I wanted to fit it on here, just a little sentiment. I used my circle punches. We've been talking a little bit about circle punches. You can see it in the back when it's open, but it's not, you know, so distracting. But I wanted a small sentiment. So we're always grabbing from whatever we can, right? When it comes time to sentiments, we'll grab out whatever we can. And let's talk about punches for just a minute. I use my 1 inch and my 1 1/4. Now I know Stampin' Up! Is not bringing these ones back. They are bringing back 2 and 1 1/2. However, okay, so the 2 inch, I know we talked about this. I have all the circle punches. The 2-inch and I think the 1 3/4 are the ones that they're bringing back. They are in the online store, but in the new catalog, they have, I'm so excited. I'm spilling this right here, right now. So if you're watching me, this is like, I'm not allowed to show you the catalog, but I can talk about it. I can talk. They have another circle punch, and it's one that I don't have yet. It's 2 3/8. I do not own. They've never had a 2 3/8. So I am really excited because there's going to be a new circle punch. So that's a little inside dirt. If you are not a demonstrator, you haven't seen the catalog yet, there's really awesome things there. You're going to definitely need a copy. Back to Sea Turtle. This one is making it into the new catalog as well. This is not retiring. So this one will be around through May of next year. I'm really excited because I've been having a lot of fun with this. Now let's talk about the fun fold. Speaking of fun, when I saw this card, this book card, think about different shapes of dies, right? I believe I saw it was circle dies that layer together. You could do rectangles. You can do anything that is going to layer together to give you the window. So you basically want 2 things here, whether it's designer paper, 2 different cardstock colors. You want to have a frame for your window. And of course, I'm using the Great by the Bay specialty paper. I used it on my other turtle card. You can see this pattern too. And I just love this paper so much. There's some really great papers in there. That one will be retiring, so snap that up. I've already cut my designer paper for this card. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I've already got my Pool Party card base. So this is just your basic A2 card base. And we're gonna die cut those together so I can show you how this works. And then for the inside, the book piece, so this white piece right here, you would need a piece of cardstock, and I use white because it's easier to stamp on. This is 5 by 8. You're going to score it at 4 inches, so you're basically making a 4 by 5. And this is the little book that's going to go inside. And then I have a scrap of the paper that I cut off the bottom of my designer paper, and I decorated. Feel free to use your decorations, right? I decorated the inside. I put this big open piece that I cut from the front. I put it here. I'm probably going to, you know, this is a small, that would be a very small inside sentiment, but I can put something in there as well over top of that. I could stamp decorate here, and if I don't glue down the back of the book, I actually have even more to decorate with. So you really don't need a lot for this particular card, which is really nice. All right, so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. I'm using the Layering Diorama dies, and they don't match up perfectly. The 2 that I've chosen are not matches. So some of these match up perfectly, and obviously the one that I chose for the size, they don't have exact matches, but it really works here, right? So let me show you how we're going to die cut this as I move all my parts and pieces out of the way. And simple stamping, and then this card is completed. I'm really excited about it too. So bring in the die cutting machine. Hi Connie, I see Connie on watching. Connie likes the Sea Turtles too. Thanks for your order today, Connie. I really appreciate that. I love this stamp set so much. I'm really, really glad that it's not retiring. All right, so when you do your window for your card, you want to do, on the card front, you want to do the smaller of the dies. You're going to keep the bigger one. The bigger one's going to be for the designer paper. So you're going to have to open up your card, just like you want to keep it in the open position, and you want to center it in on your card front, right? So this is going to be the front, and we're going to just run this through and die cut out the smaller of dies. So if you're using circles or rectangles, whatever you're using, just use the smaller one on your card front. And you're going to have this extra piece of cardstock. Again, you could use that to decorate if you wanted to. And here's my card base. So if I fold it back up, you can see I've got my window started. I'm just going to set that aside. We're going to bring in the designer paper. And again, this is just your basic layering piece. And I want the bigger die to go on this one. And just also keep in mind orientation of your designer paper as you're cutting it and as you're die cutting it. So depending on if you have a shaped die like this, you want to make sure you know which end you want to have up. If the paper has orientation, this one doesn't have orientation. It's just some nice stripy colors. I love these colors. So let me just move my equipment out of the way here. And again, this is a piece that we can use on the inside if we want. This is going to be on the outside, so we're going to layer this on here, just like that. Again, moving things out of the way. I'll bring in my card again here so we can see. And again, so the orientation doesn't matter. I can use this one either up or down. And I'm deciding which way I want to go. up or down. Maybe I'm going to go this way this time. It's going to look a little bit different depending on which way, because again, these ones don't layer together exactly the same. I like it this way better. So if you're overlapping it all, just make sure this one doesn't happen to be. I might have grabbed a different die this time. Just make sure whatever's going to overlap on this card. I had a little bit of designer paper overlap inside, but it really did work out okay. So let's go ahead and grab our adhesive here. And we're just going to glue this down. Hopefully we're going to glue this down. I may not have left my glue bottle in the best position. Of course not, right? It's got a little clog in it. So we're going to just try to work that out here for a second. And I'm going to just see if I can get that to come out. Whenever you get a clog out of your glue, you might want to just use it on a scrap paper. This obviously isn't necessarily a scrap because there's usually a little clump in there and it comes out in a big splotchy like that. And I didn't want that on my designer paper. So as you watch my card making, I'm going to call them adventures. Maybe you're picking up things here and there that you're like, oh man, that makes total sense. Because I know I've seen people just, you know, they just keep going along with that glue bottle, forcing the glue out when there's a clog, and it does get a little sloppy. But there we go. Look at it. Oh, this one's going to be even better than my first one. I love that because I used, I think, a different die. So this one doesn't pop through at all. So always I'm learning, right? Now let's do some awesome stamping with our turtle because we're going to create our little book here. So again, you want to make sure that you're keeping your orientation in the right direction. And I'm going to bring in some scrap paper because we're going to stamp off. So we're using some different colors with our big turtle today. We are going to be using Pool Party, Mint Macaron, and Coastal Cabana. So these are the three we're using. I'm using Pool Party for the bubbles, and I'm using Coastal Cabana as the back side of my turtle. And I think right now I have the front side. So these are reversible stamps. If you missed my class on Monday, we talked about reversibles. You're using the back and the front images here. And I'm actually just, now this is the back. So this is just going to give me like the shadowy, the full image. And I'm going to stamp this off because I want it to be a little bit lighter. I'm going to put my little guy here at an angle. Let me make sure you guys can see me. Yes, I think you can see me. Probably if I moved up a little bit, it would work. Okay, so here he is, right here, right? So when I put him in my book, he's gonna poke through so nicely. I love this. It's almost kind of like an aquarium looking card, right? It's just so much fun to experiment with different things. And, all right, now we're gonna bring in the Mint Mac, but first I'm going to clean off the back of my stamp here real quick before I flip this over. And because this is sometimes wet from my cleaner, I actually flipped the whole block over as well. And there we go. So I flipped the block, I flipped the stamp. And this is like very much like two-step stamping, which I am a fan of. I love the two-step stamping. So we're just gonna line this up right over top of Mr. Turtle here. And down he goes. And just like that, a totally different color, like, right? Love this kind of more of the green tone turtle. Earlier in the week I was doing like a blue tone turtle. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is bring in our big bubbles because I felt like this is really plain looking and I felt like it really needed to be dressed up with some more things. So we're gonna bring in our bubbles and Pool Party and we're gonna bubble this guy up. Now I felt like the Pool Party might be a little bit too dark to use full ink. So I'm actually going to stamp off and then on. So it gives it a lighter look. Okay, I'm going to do some more stamping off and on. And I'm just going to, you know, continue here until I have enough bubbles filling up my page. And then one more time, just like that. Isn't that awesome? So it kind of fills in and it just gives the turtle, it makes him look like he's, you know, actually swimming in some cool water. All right, so that takes care of that. And oh, I'm going to stamp my little sentiment. I did, again, I have the hello there from Peekaboo Farms. I used Coastal Cabana because I felt like it was the darkest of the inks and I like to match. I like to try to match ink colors on my cards, which is just really nice to be able to do. And of course, I already punched these with my little circle punches. So there's my little hello there. Now you could use any sentiment. You could use any punches. You could use a die cut. You could just use a straight piece of paper if you wanted to. There's a lot of variations. There's so many ways that you could do this card. But this really is an easy card. On the inside, again, I did take my little strip of designer series paper, that little leftover bit, because sometimes the inside just needs a little work too, right? So on the inside bottom, I tucked in my designer paper, and this was just a leftover strip from when I cut. So it's not like I went out of my way to cut anything. And if I can find my little blobby shape, I really like that in here, and I feel like it's going to add, once I decide what this card is going to be, I can add something more in here over top of it. Okay, and you could stamp on this side. You could even stamp on the back if you want to keep this as a full book, which I think I'm going to try to do here as we put this together. Now, last time I put this together, I just put glue on the back of here, and I stuck it down. So the back of my first book card here, this is glued down completely. You need a bit of ribbon though to hold this in place. Now the ribbon here is decorative, but the ribbon, if you leave it as a book, is actually part of the book. So I'm going to suggest maybe a good 22 inches of ribbon, because we're going to wrap it, we're going to tie a bow. It's going to be fabulous. This is a pool party, and it's in the spring book. And of course, matchy, right? That's the best thing about Stampin' Up, is how you can just match things up so nicely. So instead of gluing this down, I'm just going to bring this in here. So it's going to come into the inside of my white book. I'm holding my book together, and I'm going to bring this to the front. And I may have to readjust the lengths of my string here, my ribbon, if you will, before I tie my bow, because we want to be able to get a bow in here. So let's see how this works. And we're all waiting very patiently for that lovely bow to form. I get quiet sometimes when I chat a lot when I'm stamping, but then I can get really quiet when I'm trying to concentrate on something. And bows require a bit of concentration, I feel. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not going to fuss too much with it. I'm going to trim off. So of that 22 inches, we have like about an inch left over, and it really was kind of useful in this bow making process, right? Because oh, that's really pretty. I love when it's pretty. All right, as I open this up, right? So we've got like the book, right? It kind of goes like this, and then this holds it in place. And now you have the full book effect. So this ribbon right here, so what I don't like is that it's kind of loose. Maybe if I put some adhesive down, it would help a little bit. And that's probably why I glued down this one. And also the ribbon is on this side. So these are variations. I'm just kind of showing you some variations, because when I put the ribbon here, it's decorative. But when I put the ribbon here to hold the whole book down, where you have a book, right, you need it in the middle. So it just makes it a little bit harder to open up all of those pieces. Now, of course, I have my little sentiment here too. And I just tucked this in on the side here, making sure that I only put glue on the section where I know this sentiment's going to go, because if you put glue on every little piece of this circle, it'll glue, you'll glue it to the next piece over, and that would not be good, right? So there is our little book card. Oh my gosh, isn't that the cutest thing ever? I just love this little book card. I think it's a really easy fun fold, and I think it's definitely something that you can change up in so many ways. You can change it up with circle dies, rectangle dies. You could do stars. Think of all the dies you have that nest and layer. So any of your nesting and layering dies would work. And of course, any themes are going to work. Thanks, Just Likes the Bubbles. Hi, Regina in Germany. I'm so excited that you could watch this today. That is so awesome. I love seeing everybody on here. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. So that is the fun fold on a Thursday. Lately on Thursdays, I haven't been doing Thursdays at 3 for very long, but I'm doing the fun folds. And I don't know if it's going to continue to be a fun fold every Thursday, or if this is just the vibe that I'm attracting right now. As I'm doing research on cards, I see different things and I'm like, oh, I want to try that. And then I want to share it, and I want to give you the tutorials too. So this happens to be our card for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. I love this little sea turtle. He looks great pretty much in any color. Browns, the bright colors, the greens, the blues. He's a good little turtle. I'm really enjoying him. So Sandra, hi, you are on here. It is lovely. I'm so glad you enjoyed this class too. It's been so nice visiting with you guys today, this afternoon. It just makes my day. It lights me up inside to be able to come on here and share a little bit with you. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back Monday evening at 8 for my regular class time, but instead of a class, we're going to be doing, I'm calling it a sip and sit. I'm going to go through the catalogs. We're going to talk about retiring product. I'm going to share with you anything that I've made with products that are retiring that you might have missed, so you can get some ideas and decide whether or not you like it or not. The sale goes live on Tuesday the 4th. I think Tuesday's the 4th. I could be wrong. I might have my dates mixed up, but it's close. So I'll be on Monday. We're going to be talking retiring product. We're going to be talking about all those things. So that's what I've got coming forward. Make sure you get signed up for my catalog if you need one. Let me know. I can send you the link if you didn't get the email. If you're not on my email newsletter and you want to be on that, I can get you the link for that. So that's what I've got for today. Enjoy the rest of the day. Stay crafty, stay inspired, keep creating. I love seeing everything you guys have going on too. All right, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.